Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So here's a new deck profile for you guys today. So, well, it's technically somewhat new. But anyway, I just did the Halloween special just yesterday, as a matter of fact. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that. And for those who haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out when you get the chance. So anyway, for today, I'm actually presenting you guys Cyberdragon. Figured I'd just start off strong this month, and I figured Cyberdragon was the best choice to go with. And plus, everyone seemed to really vote for that one. And actually, funny enough, for the past... people have been requesting for Cyberdragons for a long time. So anyway, like I said, I decided to make a deck to, sorry, I meant to say decided twice. But anyway, I finally decided to get around to Cyberdragons simply because, you know, it's actually really good. And even without the Cyberdark support, this deck can really be a menace right now, especially this form because, yeah, this deck's just really good at OTKing the opponent. And yeah, it's pretty nasty. But anyway, I've actually been seeing a lot of different builds of this deck, and I figured, you know what, let me try it out for myself, and so far I really love it. I'm already kind of familiar with Cyberdragon simply because I've actually dueled against it many times, so I pretty much already know what it does. But yeah, figured I'd just show you guys my own take with it, and let's go and get started. So, main deck is 40 cards, starting off with 3 copies of Cyberdragon. So of course it's a free special summon as long as you control no monsters and your opponent controls at least 1 or more. And yeah, why wouldn't you want to run this at 3? Again, I'm not running any Cyberdarks, so this one's primarily focused on the Cyberdragon strategy itself. But anyway, moving on, 3 copies of core. If it's normal summon and it is a mandatory search, you get to add a Cyber Spell or Trap. Again, as long as it has Cyber in the name, you're good. And also has a graveyard effect where you can banish this card and special summon a Cyberdragon monster from your deck actually, yeah, just from the deck. And of course, you can only use one of its effects per turn and only once that turn. Moving on, 3 copies of Cyberdragon Hearse. So, like all the other ones, they become Cyberdragon while it's on the field or in the grave. If this card is special summoned, you can make this card become level 5. And also, it does lock you into machine monsters, but honestly, it really doesn't matter, simply because the entire deck is pretty much machine anyway. But anyway, the most important effect is that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 other Cyberdragon from your deck to your hand or graveyard to your hand. So really good just to, you know, get some advantage or value, whatever you want to call it. But overall, Hearse's level manipulation effect does come up every now and then, so just bear in mind, if you need to go into like a Cyberdragon Nova, this is probably going to be one of the best cards to do so. Of course, to go along with our Cyberdragons, 2 copies of Natster. Natster's a pretty good extender also. Discard 1 other Cyberdragon. Or, I'm sorry, you discard 1 other monster, especially on this card. Of course, it becomes Cyberdragon while on the field and in the grave. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 machine monster with 2100 attack or defense from your graveyard, special summon it. Of course, again, locks you into machine monsters, but doesn't really matter because you are playing machines anyway. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. So, moving on, 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier. You never really want to see this at 3 simply because, you know, the third one can potentially brick you. So, 2 is more than enough. Plus, it searches itself out. It's just another free level 5 monster that is machine monster to help you go into Nova. So yeah, you just need to discard 1 other light machine monster or light monster from your hand, and that's pretty much it. I've also seen some people run this, and I've tried it out for myself, and it actually really works pretty well. I'm actually running 1 copy of Cyber Tannin. So you banish all light machine monsters from your field and grave. This card gains attack points and defense points equal to the number of monsters you banish times 500. And if this card is special summon, you send all other face-up monsters on the field to the grave. It's just a really good way for spot removal, and if you can bait out in the gate, you can just simply go into this card, and yeah, you can basically just flat-out OTK your opponent just like that. And then, of course, to go along with it, Jisiriku, the Star-Destroying Kaiju. It's searchable. It is Light Machine, and again, a free Kaiju that you can just simply search out and just get rid of like a Dragoon or something. This is going to be one of the best ways to do that, so yeah. All right. And then for our hand traps, oops. Oh, hang on 1 sec. Just dropped a couple cards here. Okay, we're good. So anyway, as I was saying, for hand traps, only running 3 copies of Ash Blossom. And of course, 3 copies of Perm, which honestly is more accessible now and definitely one of the best hand traps this format. And just to go ahead and throw it out of just to get it out of the way, 1 copy of Cybernetic Overflow, simply because, you know, you banish Cyberdragons with different levels and it pop that many number of cards from your opponent controls. So yeah, definitely an amazing card. All right, so that's pretty much it for that. Now from here on out, we're just going to go and focus on the spells. Next, 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Not gonna lie, I did not know this card was gonna be this good in this strategy, and honestly, I'm glad I learned about it. So yeah, Pot of Prosperity is super good in Cyber Dragons because, you know, you have a lot of cards you can basically just spare and still just flat out apply a lot of pressure on your opponent. So definitely a good way just to deal with that. Next, 3 copies of Machine Duplication. Definitely just, you know, target your Cyber Dragon core and just, yeah, bring out other Cyber Dragons and you can just go from there. Next, 3 Cyber Emergency. Searches out any light machine monster that cannot be normal summoned, or you can just search out a Cyber Dragon monster. And also, if it's negated, you could discard a card and add this card back to your hand. But that's not going to be too big of a hassle, I don't think, at least. But anyway, moving on. 1 copy of Cyber Repair Plant. Searches any light machine monster, which honestly, this basically searches out just Sekiryu as well. So, yeah, Cyber Repair Plant works. Or you can just target a light machine monster in your graveyard, shuffle it back into your deck. So, just a good way to get some value off of it. 1 Cyber Rev System. A searchable monster reborn, essentially. Search special summons a Cyber Dragon from your hand or your grave, and it can't be destroyed by card effects. And for our fusion cards, 1 Overload Fusion and Cyberload Fusion, which I've already explained that this card is really good for recovery. And Overload is just a good way to get into your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Okay, next up, 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet, which is actually really good in the strategy. If you don't have this, you know, you can always run a Dark Ruler no more if you wanted to, but just bear in mind, you definitely don't want to, you know, not be able to pump out damage, because, again, the point of this deck is to basically go second. You can go first, by the way. You can go first with this deck, but you just want to try to OTK your opponent as quickly as possible with your machine monsters. Oops. 1 copy of Called by the Grave, and, of course, 1 copy of Monster Reborn, which honestly is a staple for this deck, because, yeah, you'd be surprised at, like, how many people get thrown off by it. But anyway, that rounds out the main deck. Let me go ahead and get everything put it to the side here, and we'll move on to the extra deck. So the extra deck is pretty similar to the one that I had in the Cyberdark strategy, but with some minor changes. For the links, starting off with 1 Cyber Dragon Seeger, 1 Almirage, and of course, Printed Plant Verity Anaconda. By now, people should already know what these do. And again, if you need to know, you can refer back to my Cyberdark deck, and yeah, I've kind of explained what these do. Alright. For the Xyz monsters, double Nova and double Infinity for your negation. Of course, you can only special summon 1 per turn, so just bear that in mind. And for the Spice, I'm actually running 1 Constellar Pallades, which, to be fair, this one is kind of a staple for this deck anyway. I mean, it is a quick effect where you can detach 1 material and then target 1 card on the field, return it to the hand. But the real Spice is this one. 1 Artifact Durandal, it's another rank 5 light monster. When an effect is activated or a normal spell or trap is activated, you can detach 1 material. The activated effect becomes destroy 1 spell or trap your opponent controls. So just a good way to deal with it. And its second effect is basically where both players shuffle back their entire hand and draw the same number of cards. But you're mostly just going to use the first effect if it comes up. So yeah. And of course, just to round up our Xyz monsters, 1 Zeus. I mean, why not, right? And since Cyber Dragon Infinity basically gets materials as long as you, as long as there's a monster in attack mode, I mean, yeah, Zeus can be pretty busted. All right, so moving on. For fusions, 1 Cyber Eternity Dragon. I already mentioned that this card's pretty good, especially if you're just looking to wall up, but also that it has a pretty good floating effect just to bring back one of your Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragon, one of the cards I generally just get rid of with Pot of Prosperity, but if you do need to bring it out, you know, who knows, you might get lucky. 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, really good for the mirror match as well, because, you know, if you happen to deal with another Cyber Dragon player, and just bear in mind, there's going to be quite a bit of them this format, you could just simply just take their entire board and just, yeah, just kind of go from there. 1 Mega Fleet just to deal with problematic Link monsters like Appaloosa, so yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And of course, 1 Rampage Dragon just to help with the OTK, and it pops spells and traps. Alright, and now that we're pretty much close to the Burst of Destiny format, I mean, literally, it's just, we're right at the edge of it. I'm playing 3 copies of Token Collector, just in case if the Sword Soul strategy really is, really kicks off here like it did in the OCG. I think Token Collector is definitely going to be really good against that strategy. 3 Drone Lockbird, still see some Drytron players, and just really good against any other search-heavy strategy, so just bear that in mind. I still feel like Tri-Brigade and Virtual World are going to be really good this format as well, so I'm still playing 3 copies of Earth-Shattering Event. And to deal with back row, you know, I got Cosmic Cyclones, I got Harpy's Feather Duster, Double Evenly Match, and of course, 1 copy of Red Reboot. So, yeah. Now, of course, King of the Sky Prison's coming out too, so just bear that in mind. So that's why I'm kind of like leaning away from Twin Twisters and going back to Cosmics, because, you know, I feel like Banishment's still going to be more prevalent. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys again next time.